everybody! It's your boy once again, Sam, aka the Train Mother Main. My drills and gills and blues. One of my subs, who shall remain nameless, asked me to be loud and obnoxious with my intro. So, in honor of him and many more. And once again, if you don't like my intro, I don't know what to tell you. I can't help you, but I'm glad you're here. So, again, I think this, including the tutorial videos I made of this layout, this should be like the 7th or 8th, maybe 9th. I just uploaded a video today. I think that was part 5 plus 2 tutorials. So this will be the 8th video, maybe the 9th. I'm not sure, of this layout build. And it's coming along swagadelically, definitely swagadelically. I have showcased everything up to this point. As of last time you saw, I finalized my branch line and the industry leads that were coming off. And now my logical next step is to get my backdrop and fascia in. So we're gonna primarily focus on that in this video. I am doing the same thing as I did on the previous layout using masonite hardboard. Not sure if I'm gonna paint it this time, because even before I painted it, I really like this look. Gives it that like professional kind of look. Even painted it does, but I just like the look of it. So in this video, you will see from start, which I just got a little jump start, to finish of the fascia and backdrop. So for background on the backdrop and fascia, I went to Home Depot. This is a 4x8, or was a 4x8 sheet of masonite hardboard, hardwood, whichever you want to call it. On the old layout, it was like $11 for the 4x8 sheet. Tonight, they actually had it mislabeled too, and I almost shit my pants, pardon my French, but I was looking, and the price tag on a 4x8 sheet of this said $76. And I'm like, no way. I looked around, went back again, and so I asked the guy, and he's like, no, that's whatever, $14.72. I'm like, where do you see that? He's like, over here, somewhere. I'm like, oh, well, maybe you should change that, because I almost walked out. So what I did, again, I bought a 4x8 sheet 2-3 hours ago. They have the big, I don't even know what kind of saw you'd call it. It's like a big, like the size of like this wall with all the different markings and saws, and they put the 4x8 sheet on there. I wanted my backdrop to be 8 inches tall from ground level, and then I wanted my fascia to be 8 inches tall as well. It does hide the legs and the wiring, even though the wire is neatly tucked away anyway, but in the backdrop, if I do, so this is 2-inch foam as the base. If I do 3 layers, which is the most I'll ever do of mountains or hills, that's 6 inches of the 8. So that'll still leave me, pretend this is the 6th inch ground, and then 2, 4, 6. That still leaves me some actual backdrop in there. So again, $15, give or take. It was 14 and change. So it's obviously 48 inches wide, 4 feet by 8 feet. So 12 times 4 is 48. So 8 inches, 8 times 6 is 48. So what I ended up with was 6 8-inch wide strips. So the table is just under 16 feet long. This is the 8-foot side. This side's about 4 inches shorter. So I took a complete 8-foot strip and threw it on there just with 2 screws. It's not secured permanently in place, but it is, but it's just not drilled in all the way. So now I will need to take another 8-foot strip, and I have it marked. Well, I guess it doesn't matter where I have it marked, because I'm gonna cut it. I got my measurement. I need to cut another strip and plug them together right here, which shouldn't be too big of a problem. And then the fascia will be complete. Like I said, it's 2 pieces, will be removable easily with 3 screws a piece, and gives it that clean, professional look. I find after 5 layouts now, this is my 5th layout, I suppose, 3rd one with the fascia, and backdrop. I suppose it's easiest to have the fascia and backdrop be completed in the bench work stage. I do still consider myself in the bench work stage because although the track plan is complete as far as the main line, the main runs, I'm still at pink foam and lumber stages because I have not begun to do any scenics or roughen any track other than my main drags. So you could see I barely begun to rough out some mine stuff down there. It's really not even a plan. I just got out switches and track to start screwing around. So one thing I'm not sure of is obviously from this gap where I need to cut to the wall is less than 8 feet, but is this section going to be the same length as the rear fascia section? Because I could just cut 2 pieces at once. So this is going to butt up against this little knob. I could always cut a notch in there if I really wanted to. I did not down over there. It's not bugging me at all, and I always can if I want to. And then you can see the blue line I drew as reference for where the fascia is going to go, or the backdrop, I'm sorry, and it's flat. So I think this piece is going to have to be measured up to here and be just whatever that is, an eighth or quarter of an inch shorter than the backdrop. So just to be safe and smart, I'm going to leave them separate. I'll cut this piece first, and then I'll do the rear backdrop all at once. I just want to get this in tonight. I'll worry about the backdrop another night this week. So I'm going to measure and cut this on camera now and get this in and done tonight. And then I'll have to rough in the backdrops, cut these portholes and get that in there. That'll be a whole nother segment. So I'll set this up again. You'll see me work on this piece, which I filmed and got it done ahead of time. Then I'll cut this piece down here. And before the night is over, we will have the fascia done. So hang tight.
This is some studio gear that...
So I've got my wood measured. Need to cut it now. And I have saws and stuff, but for small shortcuts and precision, I like to use my Dremel. I have several different tools, cutting wheels, sanders, shapers, all kinds of polishers, all kinds of stuff. If you're a model railroader and, power tools, saws, drills, everything you can imagine come in handy. But if you're a model railroader and don't own a Dremel, I don't consider you a model railroader. I don't mean that in like a douchey way, but it's like trying to convince you to buy a Dremel. You can go on Amazon, buy a Dremel, buy $30 worth of attachment kits and all kinds of stuff, and it'll immediately be your favorite tool. Cutting, shaping, especially like foam mountains and 1,000 uses. I shouldn't have to sit here and explain to you why, as a model railroader, you need a Dremel, so I'm not going to, but I highly recommend that you get one. So let's get this piece of wood cut, and then we'll get this front fascia finished. You might think it's stupid. I don't. Anytime I'm cutting anything, I've taken crap to the eye, I've seen injuries to the eye, and I don't want that again. So safety first. If you can't spend $3 to protect your eyes for 18 seconds a year, I don't know what to tell you. It's a huge size difference. Well, I'm glad I wasted a piece that's much bigger than those pieces. This kid at Home Depot screwed up my sheet. Look at how much bigger that is. Is it just me? Oh, man. Well, at least now I know. Is this the same size too? Inches on the nose. So my dilemma here now is I cut a piece too short, even though I took my time and measured it 3 times. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. And then the piece that I already installed, once I put the too short piece up to measure it, make sure it was the perfect length, it was too short because I cut it wrong. And then it's almost a 1/4 inch wider than this piece I already put on. So I measured the other 5 pieces that I have. This kid cut me 1 piece a little bit too short, which also means that there's another piece in there that's not going to match up either, because there's 6 pieces. If you take off 8 times 6 is 48. So if 1 piece is too short or a little off, then all the others are going to be in some aspect. So kid at Home Depot that cut my sheet into 6 sections, you suck, and I'm pissed. I don't want to say it's not his fault, but he's the one that cut it. If you couldn't tell from my previous speeches at this point, I filmed a lot. I don't know what you'll see when I chop this up. So, I mean, the kid at Home Depot, very nice. I asked him 8-inch sections. 8 times 6 is 48. Should be 6 pieces, all exactly the same length. Simple. I put up this piece. Went and cut this piece. I cut it a little bit too short, 1 inch short, and I know why. Because I didn't measure from the wall properly. Even though I had said in the video, I need to measure from where that wainscot comes out. So I had it in mind. I didn't enact the plan. That's fine. That's my fault. When I put this piece up to see that it was the wrong size, when I cut it, this piece is about a 1/4 inch wider top to bottom than that piece. So if you're supposed to have 6 even sections of all the same length and width, if one of them is off, the rest of them are going to be off. The other full section I have down there that I cut from, and then piece number 4, then piece number 5 and 6, 2 of them are askew, and then I have 2 more matching pieces. It's going to be a long video, but it just shows my dude Steve Brown at It's My Railroad. Regular guy ways, nothing's perfect. I'm not a carpenter. I'm not an expert. I'm not an electrician. I make mistakes. Well, that took way longer than it should have. I'm a little frustrated still just because it should not have been that difficult. I know sometimes life throws you curveballs, and curveball on my model railroad is no real life problem. It does look very snappy and clean. I love the fact that it's taking up the whole back wall now. And like I said, if I ever wanted to expand out or in the middle, wherever I can. I didn't recess the screws. I just got them in there. I'm going to call it a night here in a minute. That dude at Home Depot, not good. These were the closest 2 pieces I could find. There's a gap. It's upsetting. What I'm going to do is probably find a center piece, just something to like tie them together so that I don't have to do the putty and sand and all that, because I can actually sit on my stool and film at this level too. This is nice. That's why I also built the layout this height, so I could sit on my stool and be at track level. But I'll get a nice little tailored piece, see what I can find online, maybe some kind of cool ornamental thing, because I don't want to do the sanding and puttying and painting. I really like the look of the hardboard. It looks professional as it sits. So unless I decide I want to paint it in the future, I will. I'm a little butthurt though still, I won't lie. Again, in the words of Steve Brown and Uncle Roy in N-Scale Union Pacific Sub and Ron's Trains and Things and Pfeiffer Hobby and all of the big time YouTube railroaders, things never come out perfect. I mean, Lord knows this is my 5th official layout, 4th on the channel, and I'm still making mistakes, but I'm also making improvements. I guess my mistake tonight was check this guy's cuts. Usually whenever I go to Home Depot for wood and other materials that I need specific lengths and whatnot of, I always bring my tape measure and my dimensions. Tonight there was no need, because again, a 4x8 sheet, it's 48 inches wide. I needed 8-inch sections, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 8 is 48. They should all be exactly the same, and they're not, and it's annoying. Luckily, this was only $14, but at the same time, do I want to run up to Home Depot again, spend 15 bucks, whatever, 14 and change, have the guy cut it, drive all the way home, and have to remount. And then I already have these two for the backdrop. They're stacked, but I got 2 more sections like that of extra hardboard. Do I need, 20 some dollars worth of extra hardboard just chilling that won't get used? Because it's not going to get used anytime soon. So again, it is what it is, but I accomplished my goal. Got a cool new idea. Like I said, even if I just took a nice piece of wood and stained it, or what I've been considering is making a control panel section for my DCC controller. So maybe that can go here. I have time to think about it. This is done now. I just need to decide what I'm going to do with it. So before I go, this is where I am. I do really like the look and feel of this new layout. It feels like home. It feels like what I've wanted the entire time. And I feel like my skill level is up to par with what I'm trying to achieve now, which I don't know if many people can say that or if they have the confidence. I sure didn't, even as of my last layout and the layout before, but learning from all my mistakes again have gotten me to this point. I'm taking my time, not rushing. As you can see as well, I haven't put my Dremel away, but once I'm done using everything, put everything back. Keep my layout nice and clean. I'm actually going to end the fascia video here. I did accomplish the goal. Got the wood, cut the wood, mounted it. I just need my little hood ornament. So I'm going to call this its own video. It'll just be installing your fascia. Makes more sense that way, and it's more content. So tips and tricks, Tony Hawk style. As you saw, this was probably the most troublesome video I've made. But then again, at the same time, I said I want to document this layout more. These are all my marks and various train collectibles. I've never showed those on the channel, but you've seen that I'm documenting this layout more so than any of the previous layouts. And on the previous layouts and on this layout, I've run into plenty of trouble. You've just not seen a lot of it. So maybe you see a new side of things tonight. I appreciate all the love and support. Please click subscribe. Join my Facebook group, Global N Scale, HO Scale, Conglomerate, Headquarters. And we'll see you back next week with a new video on the backdrop. I've been trying to upload every single Tuesday. I don't know how long I can maintain that, but as long as I can, I will. And if there's a gap for a week or two, it's because I don't have anything that I've filmed or been working on. So Train Main, subscribe, out. So it's the next day, and I know I just ended the video, but when I'm building at least the beginning stages of my forever layout, like I said, I want it to be able to be moved and everything quality done without rushing and with precision and, as much as possible of everything. Again, like Steve Brown would say, I am a regular guy. I went back to Home Depot today and, I called before I went and said, hey, I needed 6 pieces of the same length. There shouldn't have been any extra. I don't know what the deal is, but went in there. They kind of gave me a little bit of a hard time, but I took back the wood that was cut. They exchanged it, and, the guy actually took his time, cut a brand new 4x8, politely kept my scrap wood that I brought back to them. I kind of would have liked to have it just to have, but I guess, I got a brand new one that I didn't have to pay for. So, and if you couldn't see, they're a perfect size. I made sure of that. He said there that they can't guarantee precision cuts. Like, well, then why do you, not tell people that when they're buying something and asking you to cut it with a specific size? Like, if I'm asking somebody to cut me something 8 inches times 6 of those, why wouldn't they say they can't do it? And B, why would they do it at all? So just wanted to end the video on a positive note and on a triumphant note. Last night I was a little dejected and defeated because I did everything I was supposed to do and still didn't end up with my desired outcome. So today I came home, took off the fascia that I had put on last night, loaded all the extra wood up into my truck, drove back up to Home Depot, talked to them. They took the wood, they cut the wood, came home, recut my wood, remounted it, and now I have a perfectly even and symmetrical fascia, and I'm happy with it. So on that note, my wood for my backdrop is now ready to go, perfect sizes, and I have 2 extra pieces of the same perfect sizes. So again, my next video will be rear backdrop, and you'll see that in a week or two. But for now, the fascia is done. Amen. And again, tips or tricks, Tony Hawk style. Please subscribe. Join the Facebook group, Global HON Scale. Just type in global model railroading, something of that effect, and you'll find me. And please subscribe, comment, help that algorithm. Cheerio. Out.